Welcome to TOoTR, a checklist-style tracker for Ocarina of Time Randomizer. It supports both location and entrance shuffles, dividing the game world into each dungeon and major overworld area. Randomized items and hints can be set on each location, which then feed into game logic indicators shown throughout the tracker interface. All game settings and randomizer presets can be applied dynamically across the stable version, latest dev version, and Fennel and RealRob dev branches. Your progress is saved as you go, letting you easily track a game over multiple play sessions or recover after a crash or power outage. On first launch, TOoTR defaults to the Fennel dev branch with a custom preset designed to gradually confirm settings in random settings league races. This means most entrance randomizer options are enabled along with every item shuffle possible in the league. Loading a different preset or branch is easy. Other presets are available from the File menu in the top right of the screen when starting a new game. Dev branches can be changed in the Tracker Settings panel. The Settings panel is accessed from the collapsible sidebar on the left, which is open by default on desktop. On mobile, this can be opened by tapping the arrow in the top left. The Tracker Settings panel is activated from the Tracker Settings tab at the bottom of the sidebar. The Dev branch selector is the first setting in the list. Once set, TOoTR remembers which dev branch and preset you last used. You can start a new game with the same preset by selecting Reset from the File menu, then choosing Reset to Last Preset. Alternatively, you can reset with current settings, which also includes your starting items. The tracker is organized into three main areas: the main area card list, the inventory panel, and the game settings panel. Game settings and the inventory are in the left sidebar, either as separate panes if your screen is tall enough, or as tabs. Game settings can be ignored after initial setup if you are playing fixed settings or simulating a game. By default, the panel uses icons for most of the important settings for game logic. This can be changed to a list of combo boxes by changing the Show Game Settings as Icons tracker setting. If using the icon view, grayscale icons generally mean a setting is disabled or set to match the vanilla game. To see what an icon means, hover or long tap an icon to see a tooltip showing the setting name and current value. Clicking the main icon cycles through the possible options for that setting. Some settings also have subscript numbers or images that can be tapped to change related settings, such as the type or number of rewards required to open a rainbow bridge to Ganon's castle. The inventory panel shows all items you have collected, either as starting items or items you found and tracked. Left-clicking or tapping an item will collect it as a starting item. Subsequent taps will advance the item up to its max upgrade. Right-click or long tap to remove a starting item, but note that only starting items can be removed from the inventory in this way. If you find an item in the world, you have to uncheck its location to remove it from your inventory. The inventory panel only shows shuffled items that you need to collect based on your game settings. Additional sections are added for some settings, such as trade quest or silver rupee shuffles. The panel width is also always kept to exactly 480 pixels on desktop, designed to fit in the gutter of a 1080p video of the game with a 4:3 aspect ratio without any scaling. Note that the exact size may be different if you use desktop scaling or browser zoom settings other than 100%. Using the inventory panel is completely optional. If you only want to use TOoTR as a checklist for entrances, locations, or both, you can collapse the sidebar using the arrow in the top left. Keep in mind that the default area display tracker setting will show accessible areas based on game logic. You can change this to make areas either always visible or only shown if connected to bypass this. When you're ready to start tracking, the area cards will show you every shuffled location and entrance from your game settings. Areas are listed roughly in order left to right. Each area lists the locations accessible without passing through an entrance, followed by each entrance in that area. Shuffled locations found in interior sub-areas are listed below the entrance, providing access to that sub-area. Entrances show the area exit name on the left with the area or sub-area that it exits to on the right. And then if the entrance points to another area, you can click the target text to quickly scroll to that area. There's also a menu in the lower right that lets you jump to warp song targets or any overworld or dungeon area that has been discovered. All area cards have an arrow toggle to indicate how much information to show. The default sideways arrow will automatically hide checked locations and any entrances leading to sub-areas with no shuffled locations. If you want to review checked locations or undo a mistake, Right-click or long-tap the arrow to make it face down and show all hidden info. Right-click again to completely hide the area, and then cycle backwards through the process using left-click or short-tap. To track shuffled entrances, left-click or tap on an unchecked entrance to open a searchable menu of available entrance targets. Targets are organized by area. For example, all options listed under that Death Mountain crater indicate you exit into the crater overworld area from the specified entrance. Other targets are grouped by types, such as interiors and grottos. Sub-areas like Great Fairy Fountains or generic grottos that cannot be distinguished from each other in-game use the same alias in the menu. If you make a mistake, you can easily undo an entrance link by clicking the X next to that target entrance, expanding the area info arrow if needed to see the entrance. Locations can be checked off by clicking or tapping them. However, the real power of the tracker comes from assigning items to each location before checking them off. You can do this with a right-click or long tap to bring up the item menu. Items are shown as a mix of buttons and submenus, plus an option at the bottom to clear any previously set item. The menu will always show all possible items across all dev branches, even if an item isn't obtainable within your game settings. In most cases, this doesn't affect anything, but branch-specific items like the Souls menu will cause an error on branches that don't have enemy soul shuffle. Just don't do that. Setting an item on a location works the same as a peek in-game. The item doesn't get added to your inventory until you check off the location. This advances the logic indicators shown on every location and entrance in the tracker. Green means the location or entrance is logically reachable with the current game settings and inventory loadout. Yellow means it's reachable if you turn on every glitchless trick supported by the randomizer, and gray means it is not reachable as understood by the randomizer search algorithm, even if you are able to reach it in the actual game. Knowing what locations are logically unreachable helps you screen out locations that cannot contain your next progression items. Note that the tracker's logic engine has been reviewed by the randomizer race mods to confirm it complies with their rules for logic trackers. By default, the tracker is in race mode, indicated by the text in the upper right and the green menu bar. This mode does not follow logic exactly, instead showing every location you can reach given your current inventory loadout, regardless of where you got your items. If you want to see exact game logic, you can turn off race mode in the tracker settings, but be aware that this resets the tracker. Racers should also use caution with this option, as TOoTR is not race legal to use if the race mode is off, and you will be disqualified if caught using it in that way. That said, if you aren't planning to race, you will have a better experience with race mode off. Setting location items also adds them to TOoTR's search box. Normally, search will match any location or entrance in discovered areas. It will also match item names for any tracked item locations. This makes it easy to double-check where you found a key or another major item, in addition to providing a way to review areas like shuffled Great Fairy Fountains for backtracking. The last major feature of TOoTR is its ability to import and export spoiler logs that also function as randomizer plando files. This enables viewing spoiler log info in the TOoTR UI, as well as a simulator mode similar to other tools like the gyro. When simulating a log, shuffled locations and entrances are hidden until you left-click or tap. The area list is filtered to the area you are currently at as if you were in-game, though you can change region view in the tracker settings if you want to see everything at once. Clicking a location will briefly show the item or hint you found before hiding it. Clicking an entrance will take you through the entrance to the linked area with a note in the menu bar or above the area card showing where you came from. Logic indicators update based on discovered items like in tracking mode, but you are free to ignore them and go anywhere or check any location while simulating. That covers all the major features of TOoTR. There are some smaller options and features not covered in this video that can be found in the tracker's menus. Feel free to reach out to me on Discord via DM, in the Dev Item Tracker channel of the Randomizer Discord, or open an issue on TOoTR's GitHub if you have any questions. Happy hiking!